Welcome. This is the CEO Masterclass, where I am your guide, Rachel L. Gary. This is where we talk about things that allow us as CEOs to have better tomorrows. I provide tips, information that I have personally used in my career to grow and have better days, better times, and have a better outcome towards reaching my goals. So I'm going to thank you guys for joining me today. So we're going to do something a lot differently than we have been doing in the previous masterclass. So if this is your second or third masterclass, today we're doing something different. So what are we talking about today? We are challenging the status quo. And for people who don't know, I'm in two places. I am on Zoom as well as I am in the Habits group. So Habits, you have the opportunity to, at the end of our conversation, to ask 5 questions. I will answer those questions live right here today. So if you have any goal related questions or anything about habit building, please ask, even if it's about my credentials on why I know my techniques will help you have better tomorrows quicker with less overwhelm and no stress. No overwhelm, no stress zone. So let's get to it. As usual, I am taking applications, and my applications are for the CEO of my life. And when I say the CEO of my life, I am talking about the one who is clear in their actions, is empowered by their choices, and is taking ownership for their direction. The CEO of my life. So CEOs, today we're going to dive into a topic that might ruffle a few feathers. Not apologizing, just letting you know. But it's one that needs to be addressed. And if you want to create real change in our professional lives, we're going to challenge the status quo of the workplace and uncover 2 controversial truths about what really happens when people go to work. Hey, you guys ready? Get that pen and paper out, because we are about to dive in. We're going to start with the first truth, the illusion of busyness. So when you are at work saying that you're busy, what are you really doing? Because many people show up to work, but not everyone is truly at work working. We've all seen that person who's sitting on the side having those conversations, or who's at their desk appearing to be busy, shuffling papers, attending endless meetings, but accomplishing a little of nothing. This illusion of busyness is persuasive, and you know what it does, guys? It holds us back from being the true CEOs of our lives. Why does it happen? Simple. The workplace has conditioned us to equate being at work with being productive at work. But just being there isn't enough. In fact, it is often a cover for us being inefficient and a lack of focus on what truly matters. Why do I say that? Because how many times have you gone to work just because you know you have to go to work to get paid? But you go there and you do tasks just to seem as if you're completing something throughout the day. Not because you want to, but because that's the only way to collect your check. Going to the office, because especially with now we're back to the office from people who were working remotely. So guys, to challenge this, we need to shift our mind frame. Instead of seeing work as a place where we just put in time, we should see it as an investment. And you know what our goal is at this investment? We should maximize our returns on this investment by focusing on high impact activities. This means prioritizing tasks that drive results, cutting out unnecessary meetings, and being ruthless with our time. That is when you go from just being someone at work to someone promotable, to going from just someone that's promotable to someone in higher management, to even upper management. When you are focused on the task, that's just busy work. When you're focused on a result, that is where you're focusing on the impact that you can make to an organization. I know that the mainstream is telling us to get out of the workforce, become entrepreneurs. I'm going to give a little myth buster. How you work at someone else's company is how you're going to work for your own. You'll spend a whole lot of time trying to figure out how to check the being busy. Stop checking emails. Stop making to-do lists and start getting things done. So when I mean utilize the companies that we work for as investments, I mean you want to utilize it as them being an investor in the future you. So if you have an entrepreneurship on your mind, first you need to nail time management. Nail prioritizing things that are going to impact your life effectively. And all of that starts with the illusion of busyness. Now, let's talk about that second truth. The comfort of mediocrity. Hands up, because we are comfortable in just going to work and just collecting a check. But we're uncomfortable with how much money we make, how much prestige we have. Let me tell you how I know that. The conversations that you have afterward. The conversations that you're having with your friends about how the job is treating you. When you're upset because you haven't gotten that promotion. It's a double-edged sword. But we're not going to fall on the sword. We're going to utilize that sword in the most effective way possible. There's a surprise of the number of people who settle. Are you surprised? How many of us have said that we're going to do better and we don't? We are having the conversations with ourselves that now's the time to stay focused. And we go to work and we just get lost or take a step into our old selves. Hey, people that do just enough at work are the reason why you're upset when you go to work. There, CEO, don't forget to click that link and get your 7-day challenge. Remember, it's free. It's aligned with you being the person who has clarity in your actions, who's empowered by your choices, and who's owning your direction to be the CEO of my life. So if you're one of the people who are doing just enough to get by, your coworkers are the ones talking about you. If you're that one who's excelling, doing a lot of busy work, you're holding yourself down. So let's get the weights off of ourselves and start moving forward in better directions. Because mediocrity might feel safe, but it's a trap. It keeps us from realizing our full potential and from making meaningful contributions to our organizations, ultimately ourselves. Because being the CEO is you being of the organization of your life. That's why you're the CEO of my life, because you are the head of the organization of self. I am the head of the organization of Rachel L. Gary. And each of you every day are the head of your organizations. So when you're the head of your organization, that means you are taking time to understand what works well, what's not working well, and what you can do better in the long run. So take a sip here. You have to know when you need to pivot. And mediocrity doesn't allow you to pivot. It keeps you stagnant. So to break free from this, we need to adopt a mindset of continuous improvement. We need to challenge ourselves daily, seek out new skills, and constantly ask, how can I be, do, and have better? That's what it's really about. Do you want better? Do you deserve better? Have you shown up for yourself to have better? That is the question that you ask yourself to break away of the mediocrity. Because the second that you show up for you in a meaningful way, you won't even recognize the person that you were any longer. So, what's the takeaways here? It's time to see jobs as an investment. We need to move beyond the status quo. And the status quo is remaining stagnant in what we thought was a proper way of focusing our attention when we go to work. The job is an investor. They want a return on investment. It's okay that they want a return on investment, because I want the investment for the future self. The future Rachel needs the investment of what they're talking about today. So now let's take a couple of moments to talk a little bit about what I always have for you guys. So my tip of the day is this: to make the mental switch from the status quo of just going to work to the switch of the place that you go is an investor in the future you. It starts with the verbiage in which we speak, what we say to ourselves, what we're doing on an everyday basis. The switch starts with us. So first, change the way in which you speak. 2, when you go to work, see it as an investor. And if they are investing in you, you want to give them the best investment capital, which is your time and your energy. 3rd, when you're ready to be an entrepreneur and take back your time and your energy, you have already started setting yourself up for success, because you've mentally made the switch that being busy isn't work. Doing the work, I want to, for lack of a better word, half in it. I'm not a person that curse, so y'all know what I'm saying. Half-a-ing it. When we're going to work and we're just doing just enough to get by, that's how we're going to show up for our life moving forward. We do just enough to get just enough to get by. So make sure that the return on investment that you're giving the employer is the same return of investment that you're giving yourself. So I'm not telling you to go out there and stay in a job forever. However, I'm going to make a statement. As you move up the ladder, we're utilizing these couple of things that I've said, you'll notice that your job will get easier. You'll have more responsibilities. However, you'll be able to tackle those responsibilities in a more productive way. Because you're not going to work to be busy. You're going to work to have an impact. When you go from being a person who has a cubicle to a person that has an office, to a person that has a floor within a building, that is all possible as long as you eliminate the status quo. Be above reproach. Come to work with the intention to do your job the best of your ability, so you can invest in your time and your energy in the future. So I want to first, every single time I have something to give you. So today, as always, I have a 7-day challenge. Now we're going to revamp how we bring that 7-day challenge to you guys. So I want you guys to be on the lookout for the 7-Day Challenge 2.0. So how this 7-Day Challenge 2.0 will work is that we'll go through 7 days where we are going to have a group for 15 minutes every day for 7 days, where we talk about those 3 things that are within the 7-Day Challenge, and we work through them together, hold each other accountable. Because what do we want here in the CEO Habits group? We are looking for success, and success can be ours as long as we stay focused and consistent on our growth, which is what we're here talking about every single Wednesday. The growth of ourselves and the growth of each other as a community of goal setters who are being the CEO of my life. So anybody has any questions, I'm open up the floor for questions now. So anything that deals with goals, goal setting, mindset, skill set, tool sets, anything that you want to know about what I'm, any questions that I have. So I have no questions in the habits group. So, but I did have one question from somebody on Zoom. So the question of the day from them were, hold on, I want to make sure. Why do I say that we as employees are mediocre? Okay, great question. I'm not saying you as an employee are being mediocre. What I'm saying is that we are comfortable, or as a workforce, we have become comfortable in just doing enough to get by. We have allowed employers who say to come to work every day dictate that we have to go to work, but as long as we show up, we will get paid. What we want to do is break free of that mediocrity and go to work with the intention to have more, do more, and be more. So what I'm giving you is a formula of how to get from whatever level you are within a company to be, for being promoted in the next 60 to 90 days. Sometimes I would say instead of 60 to 90 days, I would say within the next 6 months. So that's what it's really about at the end of the day. How to break free of just going to work to be busy and deciding to go to work with the intention to be impactful in a way that allows you to have success within your career. Hold on, I have another question that came up. So I hope that answers your question. If it didn't, please drop more information in the chat, because I'm here to answer the question to give you as much insight as possible. So let me see what the other question was. So let me read the other question. So how should I cope with the situation if I miss out on a task from my daily routine, and make sure not to miss and get distracted? Awesome question. Awesome question. Keep in mind, your daily routine is part of something that you're building for you. If you're building something in your daily routine that is necessary to propel you forward, then you want to make sure that the things that are distracting you, utilizing self-care. I'll dive a little bit into self-care so we can talk about it. Self-care is when you are setting clear boundaries with your family, friends, and people outside, as well as yourself. You're setting clear time boundaries, place boundaries, and when you can be disturbed boundaries. And what you want to do is have those conversations ahead of time. You don't want to wait till the day that you're doing a task. I'll use myself for instance. I set clear boundaries from 1 o'clock p.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. I cannot be reached via phone. I cut off my notifications. I'm on Do Not Disturb. During that period of time, I am taking care of functions within my business. There are only 5 people who have opportunity to actually disturb that Do Not Disturb. Those are my 4 children and my spouse. That's it. And what I did with them is had the conversation before I decided to put the Do Not Disturb on, months in advance, that during these periods of time, unless it's an emergency, I'm staying focused on trying to grow the business, grow myself, because I am being coached, as well as I have my coaching people that I'm working with, my mentees, and what I do during that time is I make sure I tell them that these are the opportunities to get in touch with me. So setting those clear boundaries allows you to get rid of distractions. And as I said, make sure that you have those conversations with all the people of importance in your life so they understand that no, you're not avoiding them. These are the times of the day in which you are focused on doing what's next in your journey to be successful. So the next question was, I have been trying to have passive income but have very little to invest. So I don't understand the question. However, I do want to speak a little bit about investment. And from what I'm gathering from what is said is that they don't have enough income to invest. Now this goes into having multiple streams of income. And to have multiple streams of income, there's a couple of things that you would have to work with. I'll say thing one would be making sure that you understand all of the talents you have. You write down all of the things that you do really well. Figure out a way to monetize the things you do really well. It's not about eating up your time. It's about figuring out a way to set the things that you do very well in a form of autopilot. So I'll use, for instance, if you're somebody who is a VA, a virtual assistant. So currently I have a virtual assistant. So, and let's say that you are talented and have an ability to organize tasks and provide someone assistance. So what you would do is you would provide them that service for a short period of time each day. But what you would do is you would charge not by the hour, you would charge by the job. So this way, it doesn't matter how long it takes you, but you would determine how much time it will take for you to do a particular task. And when you determine how much time it takes to do a particular task, you put a mental price tag on what that looks like for you. Then you market that. So you find platforms that are looking for VAs or companies that hire out VAs to allow you to be successful. That is determining what you do really well and executing a plan on doing those things really well. So if there are any other questions out there, please take an opportunity to ask. As I said, I'm going to answer anything that comes my way that is in the realm of goal setting, things that can help you be more successful in your journey towards better tomorrows. Any other questions? All right. So I don't see anything else out there. So I want to thank everyone who joined today. And everyone who joined today, I hope that you got value from this live masterclass. Because at the end of the day, the status quo can be eliminated by you standing up for you, doing your best work on an everyday basis, staying focused, breaking through mediocrity, elevating yourself to being an investment. And remember, even though you're investing with the company, you're basically investing in you. So I want you to like, comment, follow, share, invite people to the live so I can get more information about how to help you be more successful in your journey towards goal achievement. Until next week, CEOs, I want you guys to be up, out, and moving to the greatness we all know lies within who? You, CEOs. Enjoy the rest of your week. The masterclass is now over.